Den här är redan jävligt hög alltså.
Hey allihopa! Hi everyone and welcome back to another episode of Say It In Swedish. I'm your host Joakim, and my slow Swedish episodes got very popular, and thank you for that. Thank you for enjoying my content, but I thought to myself, why is this? Why are these episodes so popular? Why do people need slow Swedish? Yeah, we Swedes, we contract a lot of things, and there is something called reduction happening in sentences. So, of course, people would like to start with slow Swedish because sometimes one sentence can sound like one whole word in Swedish. And what I wanted to do in this video is to explain this phenomenon a bit so that you will have the tools to maybe decipher something that you hear in Swedish that should be a sentence. In Swedish we have quite a few words that are mostly spoken differently to how they are written. For instance, we have det, which means it, and it's mostly spoken det. We have är, which means is, and that's mostly pronounced e or ä. For instance, we have var, or which is mostly spoken va and va, and we have vad with a similar pattern there, and we have quite a few words that lose some letters, basically. I mean, the written language is always a compromise, so it doesn't necessarily reflect how people really speak. For instance, we also have jag, which means I. It's written jag with a G, with a G at the end. Some people say jag, some people say ja, and yeah, this is how it is. It's something you have to learn, and it's something that I try to address in my videos so that you learn how Swedes really speak. But the main thing in this video is the reduction, the thing that makes a sentence sound like a whole word. And what I can say here is that R is dropped a lot, and H is dropped a lot. And also in some dialects, for instance in my dialect, D turns into R sometimes. Yeah. Weird, huh? I think it's better if I give you a couple of examples. Here we go. My first example is ja, det är han. Ja, det är han. Ja, det är han. So we have ja, det är an. So the H mostly gets dropped here, so we have ean. And since I pronounce är as e, we kind of get a long e sound here. So ja, det an. Ja, det an. Ja, det an. And I think mostly because how the prosody sounds, we can determine if it's one word or not. Guys, come on. Here is another one. Men kom igen nu. Hallå. Shish. Tyst. Another example for you is var är hon? Var är hon? Var är hon? Where is she? Var är hon? So var and e instead of är, var är, and then we have hon, and the h gets dropped here as well. Var är hon? Var är hon? Sounds like one word, doesn't it? Var är hon? Sometimes this can even sound like var är hon? So the R gets dropped as well. These things are inconsistent. There is no rule. It depends on the person, the dialect, and the sociolect, and whatever. It depends on the person speaking. So these aren't things that you necessarily have to pick up to sound native, but these are important tools for you to like decipher how what we want to say. We Swedes want to tell you. My last example for you is a bit tricky. It's vad får jag inte det då? Varför får jag inte det då? Varför får jag inte det då? Varför får jag inte det då? So we have varför får, which turns into varför or varför. So it's basically cut in half because the third part is unemphasized and kinda gets lost. So basically we have varför it becomes like a long F sound here. Varför, or like 3 Fs that we extend the F to contain the whole second syllable here. So and then 4. So we have like almost 3 Fs here. This sounds so weird when dividing this into syllables, but when you say the whole sentence, it makes a lot of sense. Then we have jag inte. Jag inte becomes jag inte, and inte turns often into ente, and since there is a vowel before this, it kinda gets lost. So we have jante. Varför får jag inte? And then we have det, which was det. So det. And then we have då, which in this case turns into ra. Varför får jag inte det då? Varför får jag inte det då? I know, Swedish is weird. Varför får jag inte det då? Varför får jag inte det då? Varför får jag inte det då? And this means, why am I not allowed to then? And remember that these are things that native speakers do and say, but you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this to sound native, basically because it depends on the person and the mood of that person or the region and social leg. It depends on a lot of things, and I even switch versions of words within the same sentence, so it's also inconsistent. There are no real rules here. For instance, I would say det är en bil där och den är blå. Det är en bil där och den är blå. There is a car there and it's blue. Det är en bil där och den är blå. Yeah, it's one of those things that happens fluently and automatically, and you just have to it's something that you learn when you've learned Swedish and you've used it a lot of times. It's something that comes automatically and that you don't have to think about it. Alright guys, this was everything that I had for you today, and I think you and me both understand better now why we need, or you need, slow Swedish, because we contract as one sentence into one word basically, and I hope that this could give you some tools maybe to decipher what we Swedes say when we speak like this. It's strange, but languages are strange, and that's why they are so amazing. If you want to learn more Swedish, I have sayitinswedish.com for you with free audio lessons and vocabulary lists. And if you want to support this project, there is a Patreon page. And if you want to practice your Swedish, you can do that on the Discord server. And if you want to talk to me directly, you can do that there or on social media. All links are in the description down below, and we will see each other in the next video. Take care. Bye. Hej då!